And joining us now here on the program as we get an update on current crop conditions, pleased to have with us John Long, retail product agronomist with Brevant Seeds. And John, it's great to talk with you again. How are you doing?
Hey, it's great to be with you as well. I could go without these hot conditions we're having this week, but I guess it's summertime. You have to have at least one hot week.
That's very true. You got to have at least one or maybe two thrown in there, and we'll make it through it as best as we can. Well, John, I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us today. Let's talk current crop conditions, and let's just start. How is this late season excessive heat really affecting crops right now, John?
Sure. So, we got a fairly early start planting corn this year, and in some areas around the 10th of April. So, as I look at progression of the crop, especially as you get into southwest Iowa, we're moving very close to black layer physiological maturity in a lot of corn hybrids. As you progress north, it's a little further behind, but the closer you are to black layer, the less impact this late season heat and stress has, on the corn crop. But we are seeing some things this week. I've looked at some Goss's wilton corn that was affected by hail a few weeks ago. On the soybean side, we are all over the board. We're seeing a lot of soybean diseases coming in late across fields throughout the area. White mold and sudden death would be the main two. And these hot days are really pushing those along. So soybeans are beginning to look a little tough in places.
Well, I know, with the hot, dry weather, typically we hear about tar spot being something that is fueled by maybe cool, damp conditions. But I know either way, tar spot's the talk of the town right now. So what are you seeing in regards to that in corn right now?
So across the geography I cover in western Iowa, we are seeing tar spot at a very low incident really right now. You can find it. I do know to the south of me in northwest Missouri, they're having to do a second application of fungicide, especially on susceptible hybrids. The tar spot has really come in and raised havoc. So as I'm looking at Brevant hybrids, I'm looking with a keen eye at those ones, newer hybrids that we have that we've given the top ratings for tar spot tolerance, and they're holding up very nicely. A lot of the new Brevant stuff has good tar spot tolerance, and it's doing its job.
You mentioned quite a few disease pressures there, weed pressures there. Any other diseases you're seeing in corn or soybeans right now, John?
In corn, we're not seeing a lot of things. I think we're going to see a little bit of northern corn leaf blight as we get closer to fall, which we did a year ago. But a vast majority of corn did get a foliar fungicide earlier in the season, so that really helps with that. Across soybeans, as I mentioned earlier, we're seeing some outbreaks of white mold and sudden death syndrome across some really large areas. And, you can see that out there. A lot of the growers have planted some of the new next gen Vermont soybeans. Some of our newest varieties are having a lot better success there. That's one of the key things that we looked at was sudden death and white mold as we brought new varieties forward, and we're holding up pretty good. Also, growers that utilized a seed treatment for sudden death early in the spring, they're having some better results as well.
John, where can farmers go for advice to manage some of these late season challenges they're seeing right now?
Well, I would tell you the number one place I would go if I were a grower would be to my local ag retailer. Those folks are prepared to answer questions about some of the diseases that we're seeing, and better yet, help you formulate a plan for next year of what hybrids and varieties to plant from Brevant to take care of some of those issues. Also, you can go to Brevant.com, and we have a plethora of information that goes through articles about current conditions, diseases, and also characteristics of hybrids and varieties for next year to help you out.
Again, that website is Brevant.com. With that, retail product agronomist with Brevant Seeds, John Long. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thank you.